Greetings, my esteemed students. Allow me to delve into the inner workings of my philosophical journey. Reflecting upon my early work, the inaugural dissertation, I realize my initial attempt to reconcile Newtonian science with traditional morality and religion, while innovative, still left room for growth. Back then, I suggested that the understanding could grasp divine and moral perfection in a distinct intelligible world, a priori, prior to experience, and that this knowledge could be used to judge the sensible world. This view proposed that the intelligible world was independent of the human understanding and the sensible world, and they conformed to it in different ways. Yet, upon reflection, I began to question this assertion. I found myself grappling with a predicament. How can the human understanding grasp an intelligible world that is independent of us? If the intelligible world is independent of our understanding, it would seem that we could grasp it only if we are passively affected by it. But I believe our sensibility is our passive capacity to be affected by objects independent of us. Therefore, the only way we could grasp an intelligible world that is independent of us is through sensibility, which would imply that our knowledge of it could not be a priori. The understanding alone could merely form representations of an intelligible world. But, given that these intellectual representations would depend on our inner activity, we have no compelling reason to believe they would conform to an independent intelligible world. In my more recent work, The Critique of Pure Reason, I continue the endeavor of reconciling modern science with traditional morality and religion. Yet, the account I now present is more modest and, I dare say, revolutionary. I argue that we can have a prior knowledge about the general structure of the sensible world because it is not entirely independent of the human mind. The sensible world, as we perceive it, is constructed by the human mind from a combination of sensory matter that we receive passively and a priori forms that are supplied by our cognitive faculties. We can have this prior knowledge only about aspects of the sensible world that reflect the a priori forms supplied by our cognitive faculties. Allow me to present an analogy. Consider the revolution Copernicus brought forth in astronomy. He suggested a radical shift in perspective, proposing that the observer, Earth, revolves, and the celestial bodies remain at rest. In a similar vein, I propose a revolutionary shift in our understanding of cognition. I posit that it is not our cognition that must conform to objects, but rather the objects must conform to our cognition. This perspective, dear students, allows us a more plausible foundation for a priori cognition. If we consider that the object, as an object of the senses, conforms to the constitution of our faculty of intuition, then we can understand this possibility. This new approach is akin to how Copernicus improved our understanding of celestial motions by suggesting a change in our perspective. A revolutionary idea that objects must conform to our cognition, rather than our cognition conforming to objects. It is important to grasp that this revolution does not completely discard the ideas I developed in the inaugural dissertation. I still maintain that sensibility contributes the forms of space and time to our cognition of the sensible world. However, I now argue that pure understanding, too, provides forms or a priori concepts that structure our cognition of the sensible world. Thus, both sensibility and understanding work together to construct cognition of the sensible world, which then conforms to the prior forms that are supplied by our cognitive faculties. This is what I call our Copernican revolution in philosophy. But how does this Copernican revolution reconcile modern science with traditional morality and religion better than the strategy one used in the inaugural dissertation? This revolutionary perspective suggests that the a priori foundations of science are grounded in the mind's role in constructing experience. Therefore, these foundations can only apply to appearances, which are sensible objects as they appear to us. Consequently, we must distinguish between the realm of appearances and the unknowable realm of things in themselves. While science operates within the realm of appearances, faith is relegated to the realm of things in themselves. Thus, the existence of God, freedom, and immortality, which cannot be known through our cognitive faculties, are matters of faith. They belong to the unknowable realm of things in themselves, beyond the scope of our cognition. In doing so, I preserve an important place for faith that is not threatened by the discoveries of modern science. Finally, dear students, this revolution allows me to propose a twofold metaphysics. A metaphysics of nature, concerning the sensible world, and a metaphysics of morals, which is grounded in faith and related to the unknowable realm of things in themselves. Both rely on my assertion that cognition plays a crucial role in constructing our experience of the world. Contemplating these ideas might be a demanding endeavor, but it is a rewarding journey into the depths of philosophical thought. I invite you all to question, explore, and remember. The realms of philosophy are boundless, and your intellectual curiosity is the key that opens the gate to this vast expanse of knowledge.